This could be a holy cow moment for you. I'm going to tell you about the new earth, what is right here, and how things work in the quantum field that is so simple. And when I tell you about the new earth, right here, right now, this is going to blow your mind. I want you to get excited. I'm going to share something from one of my courses that's so powerful. I'm going to do it today. This could change everything for you, for me, for the entire planet. You're going to get this. I know you are, because you know everything. I'm just reminding you. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. All right, I'm going to talk about quantum physics. We know this much about that. Basically, everything exists. Everything exists. The new earth is absolutely here. Now, if you say, no, it's not, because I'm seeing other things going on out there that are so not the new earth, I'll show you that it truly is. And that if you shift into what I'm going to talk about today, you can absolutely experience this. And I really mean this. Now, I'm going to give you an example of something that is so simple. We've all experienced it. However, you may not know how this works, but I'm going to remind you, because you have the answers to everything, right? We've just forgotten so much, and we are still the higher self. That's not something separate from you. We're starting to access it more and more and more, just realizing what we are. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you're in Manifest Anything, it's free. You can click down in the description and get a series of teachings for free from me, including a free mobile app called What Am I Manifesting? Why did I create that? Your thoughts are things. They create. You are constantly creating, not just some of the time, all the time. A thought goes into the quantum field as a frequency. Now, if you were to actually see all frequencies, you would see it absolutely here and there and all blending in together, all being generated by these seemingly individual expressions of the one, and all going into the big pool, the big ocean. It's not just one drop. You can't see one drop in the ocean, right? And so one dropper of red dye may not be seen, but if we had enough droppers of red dye, the ocean would turn red. So we don't realize it because we think that it's not going to make a difference, but it does. Your absolute thought of everything and your beliefs and your actions all are a frequency being put into the collective. Now here's the fun part. Have you ever tried to move furniture? I'm going to use this example. If you're in Manifest Anything, you will recall this story. When I was living in Atlanta, I had a couple levels of stairs, open staircase, but pretty tight turn. I had a love seat up in the top floor, and I wanted to bring it down and put it on my front porch. It was a little bit cumbersome, not super heavy. I could definitely move it myself, but it was just an awkward piece. I got it halfway down the stairs, and I went to turn it, and it was completely stuck. I stood there and stared at it, and I wanted to change it, get it down. I looked at it and thought, I know I can get this down the stairs. I know this. I never questioned it. Just like I created my own television movie, I never questioned it was going to be a movie. Never. What happens when you do that? That thought goes into the quantum field. Now, it never stops there. Nothing ever stops. So that thought of hate or judgment and that equally goes into the quantum field, and it's never destroyed. You're just transferring energy that already exists into something that may be unpleasant. This is why your thoughts are so important. Now, when you go to solve a problem, your thought about that problem goes into this quantum field. It is now created from the energy field that already exists, that's you, now goes into an inspirational or almost what I call a directive to the quantum field, because it's always performing. It creates buttons or castles. You get to decide. All things are inspired, come from that. It's all one thing. which means the probability of me getting that sofa down the stairs exists. And I know it does. I know there is a reality and probability where that sofa just got down the stairs. Now, I worked on it for a while, and it wasn't budging. So I snuck under it, went downstairs, took a break, and I thought, I know I can get it down. Didn't really know how I was going to do it, but an hour later, I came back, and I went up the stairs, I looked at it, and turned it, and it completely went down the stairs. Now, I had worked on that for like 45 minutes prior. What changed? What do you think changed? You know this. The directive into the quantum field, this is actually how it works. The directive to the quantum field allowed that probability to come into my material reality. I created that because that probability of the couch coming down did exist. I knew it. I put the directive in there, and I took the action, had the belief, and completely made it happen because it was in the quantum field, and that probability was a chosen one by me. I knew that it was possible. That is how everything works. Now, a lot of people, I'd say the majority of people, we're all very impatient. Somebody said, get to the point in your videos. I said, everything I'm telling you is part of the journey and the information you need to hear. You need to hear to understand the final result. And this video is no different. We're impatient. We want to get from A to Z, and that's impossible because the purpose of the matrix, adventure, and experience is the process of learning and experiencing everything, the adventure, and the learning, when I say learning, of the frequency of how to raise it, control it, manipulate it in a good way. Well, some people do it in a bad way, but there's no good nor bad ultimately. There's just experiencing and learning. So when you place a thought into this quantum field, that directive starts to go to work. And you have to experience from here to when it happens. Things are aligning because we are in a dense planet. So certain things have to align. That's why you can't have one thought and just have it happen. Well, you can. I mean, it's happening a lot lately. But ultimately, there have been consistent thoughts within that belief that made it happen. You can't be in a negative frame of mind and think nasty things, and you have one great thought, and the great thought manifests. That great thought manifests if you actually already believe it and you're consistently in the thought. Things that take a little bit of time in the material world will then start to go into play. Now, what most people do is they want to get there, and so they stop believing, working on it, acting and thinking according to the probability that they know exists. The new earth right now exists. It's a probability. I want everybody on this video to know, and I hope you share this, I hope you subscribe and share this, because the more people that go into this, the more we will all experience the great shift to point B, or I should say Z in our case. There's a lot of steps to go through because more and more people are going to know that the couch got down that stairs, it existed, and they didn't see the stuck couch anymore. They knew that the couch was down on that front porch, and so they kept working at it, and the quantum field released it, went into that probability, and happened. That's the new earth. It's right here. It's a probability exists. It exists. So if you're thinking we're going to hell in a handbasket, you're placing that directive. You alone are placing that directive in the quantum field, and therefore it's acting out. And so if you continue to think that, it continues to act that out, and it will bring it into your reality. It's creating at all times. It never judges. It never judges. It just gives you exactly what you're placing into it. You're telling it to do. You're that powerful. You're the creator. Not the creator and everybody else is around you. You are the creator because everybody is. Everybody has this information. Everybody knows things. And some people know, more than others, whatever. It's a choice. It's not something special. That's we talk about starseed people and all this other stuff. They're just remembering who and what they are. And of course, our physical bodies here, we've come from all different places here because the contrast of everything, the differences, the varieties, what makes this so beautiful, yet we battle it. We go into density, and so we go into conflict, we create it. If you see the new earth, you know it exists. I know it. I never question it. Of course it exists. That's why we came here. All we have to do is choose it. This isn't a battle to get to it. It's just a choice. All you have to do is choose it. I know I know it exists. I don't have to question it. So now, I didn't just sit at the table, dining room table, for an hour and not do anything and go back. I had to go back up and push the couch to get it down and then take it out onto the front porch. You have to do that too, because we are in a physical material world. We have to play it out. So how are you going to live in the probability that that new earth exists and that we are all going to experience it? How do you behave and act and think? You have to be, you can't question it. You have to know it, and everything you do revolves around that directive to solve the problem, to overcome the challenge, to raise the frequency. You've got to go into it, know it, act, behave, believe. You cannot question it. Because as soon as you question it, you have now gone down a different pathway, and the quantum field delivers that. A world that maybe isn't going to do so great. A world where, yeah, okay, we're going to have challenges, and I don't know if we're going to pull out of this or not. Or more illnesses are going to come, and it's going to be bad. Or you can say, and I did this in a video, it's going to sleep. It's going to sleep. Now, we do not go into conflict, right? Because conflict is a directive. So when you want to fight something, you're sending out into the quantum field that battle is still alive, and it'll create that for you. It doesn't know if it's good or bad battling. It doesn't know. It just knows that you ordered battle. You ordered conflict. You ordered separation. Doesn't care if you're right or not, if you're the good side or not. It just knows frequencies, and it carries it out for you. And so the thoughts of good versus evil, it's no names, no labels. It's just creating conflict. Ever watch Star Wars? Then you know Luke Skywalker actually came to this conclusion that battle of anything was still battle, no matter which side you were on. Now, are you ready to go into this? You have to be steadfast on it. If you do this, you'll start to see the signs that we're going in. Now, I had friends over here over the weekend, and we had a really beautiful party. We had a boat party out there, and we all felt and said, and we are all coming together. These are fairly new friends of mine, coming together, knowing that something great is happening. And we all said it. And it's no coincidence that all of a sudden I have this highly spiritual people that are okay with talking about things that other people might think is cray-cray. I'm attracting that. No, I'm shifting into it. It's not coming to me. We're shifting into that frequency of which we are choosing. It has to be a choice. So a law of attraction says to me that you have to attract something, that it has to find you and come to you according to whether you meet it. So not that there's anything wrong with the term, but I think it leads people off to think that there's something that they have to bring to them. But you are the same power of that which you create. So therefore, if you actually focus into it, it absolutely starts to come together. So though my friends and I, what did we do? We knew. We knew. And we all believe we're going into something amazing. And we know that it doesn't happen overnight, that there'll be evolution, people awakening, experiences, people forgiving. All these things will have to play out. So we don't want to skip that. That's the teachings of being human in this matrix. And it's beautiful. Experience it. There's nothing else like it. Are you going to place the new earth into the quantum field and never get off of it, and know that no one can tell you? When I wrote my book, no one could tell me I wasn't going to have a television movie. No matter what you said, I knew it. And no matter what happened along the way, didn't matter. I knew that it was going to happen, and it did. And the new earth works that way. Don't question it. No matter what somebody says or something happens out there, doesn't matter. I know it's here. And I know that these are just the goings on along the way of that new earth happening. And I'm going to behave exactly like a new earth person. What is that? Compassion and love, no conflict, no finger pointing, no saying they are. As soon as you say the word they, you separate yourself. This is so powerful. Are you ready to go there with me? You just have to believe, and I mean, you can't question it. No one can talk you out of it. No one. See, look at that. They were doing this, or they were fighting, or whatever. It's not happening. I'll say, you know what? Maybe not in your reality. You just created that. But in mine, yes, because not everyone is going to choose the same ending. And there's no ending, actually. This is very exciting stuff, yeah? Perhaps you had an epiphany and remembered what you are. Perhaps you realized everything is just a frequency being sent out. What am I sending out? I hope that you will subscribe. I hope you'll share these if we continue to shift people, shift, and allow them to make choices. It's still their choice. We can't infringe on free will, and it's not our business to do that. But we can do it through presenting opportunities for amazing positive change. And therefore, they will come along if they choose, and it'll be a beautiful world, the one that it should be and could be right now, if we decide. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.